Sometimes, to see the light, you must enter the deepest shadow. Welcome to the path of power, without fear, without masks, without lies. Are you afraid of the darkness because it reveals the truth? What if the power you fear has always lived within you? This video is not about evil, but about the power hidden beyond fear. The 11 Laws of Darkness is ancient knowledge that teaches us not to worship, but to recognize. Hello, friends. Before we continue, please like and subscribe. Here you'll learn many exciting, useful, mysterious, and intriguing things. Welcome to the path of power, without fear, without masks, without lies. Sometimes I hear the darkness speaking within me. Not as evil, but as ancient wisdom, banished from the human heart for too long. It whispers of freedom, of strength, of the right to be yourself, even if the world calls it sin. When I first looked into the abyss, it didn't swallow me, it showed me a mirror. And there I saw not a demon, but myself. This video is not about evil. It is about awakening and the 11 laws that are not read in temples, but heard in the silence of the soul. Welcome to the space where light and darkness are no longer enemies. Where there are no punishments, only consequences. Where strength is not power over others, but power over one's own fear. Today I will tell you about 11 principles that open the gates to inner independence. They do not demand worship. They demand honesty. This is not a religion. This is a mirror of truth. The 11 Laws of Darkness, a message from within. Sometimes I hear the darkness speaking within me. Not as evil, but as ancient wisdom that has been banished from the human heart for too long. It whispers of freedom, of strength, of the right to be yourself, even if the world calls it sin. When I first looked into the abyss, it didn't swallow me, it showed me a mirror. And there I saw not a demon, but myself. The first principle of darkness: do not pity the weak, respect the power of life. Pity is a form of pride. When you pity, you put yourself above, as if you know what's best for another. But life is not a performance where someone saves and someone waits. Everyone is tested to remember their strength. True help lies not in pity, but in awakening in others' will. Help if you can, but don't live for others. Don't take away their right to grow stronger through pain. Even Mother Nature doesn't spare a weak seed, she gives it a storm so that the root can grow deeper. The second principle of darkness: don't waste your strength on the unworthy. Your energy is the currency of the universe. Wherever your attention flows, so does your destiny. The world is full of traps, irritation, envy, arguments, empty people, meaningless conversations. They feed on you until you learn to say no. Strength doesn't disappear suddenly, it seeps in drop by drop. In every excuse, in every later. Save your energy. By renouncing the unnecessary, you open yourself to the present. The third principle of darkness: give to those who deserve it. Justice is not in forgiveness at any cost, but in maintaining balance. Peace is not based on sacrifice, but on balance. When you are hurt and remain silent, you perpetuate injustice. Darkness teaches: do not seek revenge out of malice, but restore balance. Retribution is not an act of rage, but an act of strength. Saying no, setting a boundary, defending yourself, this is not a sin. It is honor before your own soul. The fourth principle of darkness: respect those who respect you. True respect is an energetic exchange. If you give, and they return coldness, you give your life to the void. Darkness teaches discernment: not everyone who smiles is light. Light without wisdom blinds. Value those who see you, who do not demand your submission. Who are near you, not for profit, but out of truth. Don't be afraid to close a door, sometimes that's how a path opens. The fifth principle of darkness: do not waste energy on trivial things. Words, these are spells. Every thought creates a form in the world. Every conversation is a sacrifice of attention. People waste their lives on emptiness, arguing over opinions, proving the obvious, filling the silence with noise so as not to hear themselves. Darkness is not evil. It is the depth of silence in which truth resounds. Sometimes silence speaks louder than 1,000 sermons. The sixth principle of darkness: do not accept what is not yours without an invitation. Power that does not belong to you always demands retribution. When you interfere in someone else's destiny, even with the best intentions, you rob them of an experience they must experience on their own. The world is a living organism. Everyone has their own path, their own gifts, their own demons. Do not enter where you are not invited, not into a home, not into a soul, not into a secret. Otherwise, someone else's darkness will become yours. The seventh principle of darkness: do no harm without cause. Power directed toward evil returns. Not as karma in the moralistic sense, but as dissonance, a distortion of the flow. Every action creates a vibration, and what you radiate always returns in a circle. But be prepared to defend yourself. Being light does not mean being toothless. Darkness does not demand submission, it demands awareness. Destroy only that which hinders growth. The eighth principle of darkness: do not reveal secrets to the unworthy. Words are vessels of power. If you share knowledge with someone who is not ready, they will distort it, dry it up, turn it into a weapon against themselves. Keep secrets like seeds. Plant them only in fertile soil where there is silence and respect. Let the truth itself find those who are ready. The ninth principle: darkness: don't lose yourself in the crowd. The crowd is afraid to think. It lives by instinct, applause, the noise of agreement. But the soul grows only in the silence of solitude. Don't be a reflection of other people's opinions. The world destroys individuality under the guise of harmony. True balance lies not in submission, but in the awareness of your uniqueness. You are not part of the crowd. You are the whole world. The 10th principle of darkness: don't ask if you can take. A request is an admission of powerlessness. The world responds not to prayers, but to intention. When you act, the universe responds. Darkness teaches, everything you need is already close by. But you must reach out. Miracles do not happen to those who wait, they happen to those who walk. The 11th principle of darkness: don't worship, recognize. The gods in whom we believe, merely reflections of our power. Neither light nor darkness await your submission. They await your awakening. You are a temple, an altar, and a priest all rolled into one. Every time you refuse to bow, you regain control of your own destiny. Darkness is not evil. This is the space where awareness is born. This is the night before dawn, from which light emerges. Don't be afraid to look into the abyss. It doesn't consume, it reflects. And if you see yourself there, then you've finally awakened. Close your eyes. Listen to the silence between your heartbeats. This is the door. Don't be afraid to enter. Darkness is not an enemy. It simply waits for you to dare to look in the mirror. True light is born only from the awareness of your own darkness. If you felt a response, then you've already begun the journey. Write your thoughts on what you heard. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks in advance.